You always hated how quiet his mansion was, the kind of quiet that felt vast. Every time you visited Mina, her older brother's presence filled the air like electricity. You tried to ignore it, the deep voice echoing from his office, the heavy footsteps in the hall, but somehow he always appeared when you least expected it. This time was no different. You were in the kitchen with Mina, laughing over your project when his voice cut through the air. Keep your voice down. Some of us actually work in this house. You froze mid laugh. He was standing by the doorway, shirt rolled up, sleeves tied around his forearms, hair pushed back like he had just walked out of a business deal that didn't go well. Relax, Sopa. We are just talking. She talks too much. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. He didn't reply, just grabbed a bottle of water and brushed past you. But as he did, his hand brushed your waist, slightly intentional or not, you couldn't tell. That was how it always was with him. He never said much, but every small action spoke volumes. Later that evening, when a quest one of his business associates made an offhand remark about you being pretty for a student, Jungkook's tone went sharp. She's not part of your conversation, watch your mouth. You glanced at him, stunned. His eyes met yours, cold, unreadable, before he turned away like nothing happened. You whispered to Mina, he seriously scares me sometimes. Everyone says that he's just Jungkook, but deep down, you were not sure, just Jungkook explained it. That night, Mina fell asleep early while you stayed over. Her phone buzzed beside you, a text lighting up the screen from an unknown contact named Jay. Still awake, you frowned, assuming it was her cousin or a family friend. You tapped back lazily. Yeah, just finishing our assignment. Mina is asleep already. You should sleep too. It's almost midnight. You sound like her dad. Someone has to look out for you. You paused. The tone was oddly familiar, firm but gentler. It almost reminded you of someone, but you brushed it off. I can handle myself. You think so? Then why are you still double checking your window lock right now? Your heart stuttered. You glanced at the window. How did he know? Wait, who is this? Just someone who knows you trust people too easily. You felt your pulse quicken before you could reply. The chat bubble disappeared, message unsent. When you asked Mina the next morning who Jay was, she looked confused. I don't even have anyone saved as that, are you sure? Yeah, must have been a glitch or something, but the thought lingered. The tone, the words, the strange mix of warning and care, somehow it felt like him. A few days later, you and Mina were hosting a small get together at the mansion. Her brother wasn't supposed to be home. But mid-evening, as the music played and laughter filled the garden, you caught sight of him on the balcony above, cigarette between his fingers, eyes locked on you. You tried to look away, pretending not to notice, but you just started. Later, when one of Mina's guy friends leaned in a little too close, whispering something flirty, Jungkook appeared out of nowhere. The party is over, everyone went silent. Oh, pass, seriously, it's late. His gaze shifted to you. You should go home, Wine. You wanted to argue, but this his tone wasn't asking. When you stepped outside to call your ride, he followed you silently. The night was chilly. He placed his jacket over your shoulders without a word. You don't have to. You shouldn't let people touch you like that. He wasn't. Don't argue. There was something in his voice, possessive restraint, like he was holding back a storm, and before you could reply, he turned and walked away. It was past midnight. You had fallen asleep on the living room couch while waiting for Mina to come back from her late study session. The sound of footsteps woke you slow, deliberate. You opened your eyes slightly. Chubuk stood near the window, his phone pressed to his ear, his voice low but commanding. No handle it quietly. If anyone touches her again, they won't have hands to touch with. The air left your lungs. You were not sure if he was talking about you or someone else, but the calm threat in his voice was enough to send chills down your spine. You watched him face, shirt half unbuttoned, a faint bruise visible on his jaw. He looked dangerous, not like the cold, quiet brother of your best friend, but like someone who could end a life without blinking. You accidentally shifted, and the couch creaked. His head snapped up, eyes cutting through the dark, finding you immediately. Couldn't sleep. His tone was smooth, but edged with something unreadable. I no, just hear something. Next time, pretend you didn't. And just like that, he walked away, leaving behind a silence that felt heavier than the words themselves. A few days later, you were helping Mina decorate her study space. She left to grab a box of fairy lights, leaving you alone in the hallway. You adjusted your hair in the tall glass window and froze behind you, reflected faintly in the glass. Jungkook was standing at the end of the corridor. He wasn't moving, just watching for a second. Your pulse tripped, then you turned around. The hallway was empty. Maybe you imagined it, maybe not, but the feeling of being seen didn't leave you for the rest of the day. That night, when you looked out from your guest room window, you noticed a faint glow from the balcony across his balcony, and though you couldn't see his face clearly, you knew he was there watching. It happened a week later. You were digging through your bag to find your notebook, and that's when you saw it. A velvet box, elegant, not yours. Inside lay a bracelet, silver, delicate, sparkling faintly with a charm shaped like a crescent moon. You frowned. Mina, did you put this in my bag? No, why? What is it? Nothing, must have been a mistake. But when you walked past her room later that night, you noticed something. On her dresser, a jewelry set Jungkook had given her for her birthday. Same brand, same design. Your fingers went cold. You checked your bag again. The bracelet was gone. You didn't say anything, you couldn't, but that night a message appeared on your phone. No name, no number. You shouldn't leave things laying around, sweetheart. Your breath caught. You tapped back. Who's this? Three dots appeared, then disappeared. A minute later, another message arrived. You really have no idea, do you? You stared at the screen, heart racing for the first time. You realized something terrifying. You didn't just notice you. He watched, he knew you, and maybe he had been there for longer than you thought. The Joan mansion always looked softer in daylight, golden sunlight streaming through glass windows, faint scent of roses drifting from the garden. For once, it didn't feel intimidating. You and Mina sat cross-legged on a bedroom floor, surrounded by half-finished assignments, open books, and the lazy rhythm of some indie playlist. If I have to write one more paragraph about corporate ethics, I'll drop out. Please don't, I need someone to copy from. Rude, you threw a pencil at her and she ducked, laughing again. It felt peaceful, the kind of easy, warm moment that didn't belong in a house ruled by Jungkook Jones' cold aura. Mina's phone buzzed. She stood up. I'll go grab snacks before Jungkook comes home and starts lecturing us for existing. You mean you're emotionally constipated, brother? Exactly. Be back in five. And just like that, you were alone. You stretched, grabbed your phone, and walked into the garden to take a quick call. The air was soft, the grass cool under your bare feet. You leaned against a marble pillar, distractedly scrolling through messages. That's when you heard it, a faint rustle near the bushes. You turned and froze. A dark, glistening shape moved through the grass. A snake, your heart jumped into your throat. Oh my god, no, no, no. It's slithered closer, and before your brain could process anything, you dropped your phone and bolted blindly, breathless, running straight into the mansion. You didn't stop to think, you just needed to get away. You turned a corner, pushed open the first door you saw. And stopped dead. Steam curled in the air, water glistened on skin. Jungkook stood in front of you, towel slung low around his hips, hair dripping just like wet water that traced every curve of his tattoos. He looked at you with lazy amusement, his dark eyes sharp beneath wet strands. I didn't know breaking into my room was part of your assignment. Your breath stuttered, you were very aware of how red your face was and how his travel seemed one move away from disaster. I didn't. There was a snake, you blinked, startled. How did you. Mina's garden? I told her to clear it out weeks ago. He leaned one shoulder against the doorframe, utterly unbothered, droplets of water sliding down his neck. So you thought I would save you like some kind of hero? I didn't know it was your room. Lucky me, then you tried to step back, but his hand shot out for him, cold fingers circling your wrist. You really shouldn't run into a wolf's den, Kitten. Your pulse spiked. His grip wasn't painful, but it was possessive, grounding. You can let go now. Can I? He tilted his head, eyes flickering to your parted lips before meeting your gaze again. You look terrified, yet you are still here. You swallowed, trying to steady your voice. You are scaring me. Good, maybe you'll stop making me lose control. The words hit harder than you expected. His breath pressed your skin warm. Deliberate for a split second, neither of you moved. Then, with a small exhale, he released your wrist. Get out, fine, before I forget you are Mina's friend. You stumbled back, heart racing, fumbling for the door handle. He didn't move, just watched you, eyes dark and unreadable, towel still hanging dangerously low. That night you couldn't sleep, your brain replayed every second, the heat, the silence, the way his voice dropped when he said kitten. You checked your phone for distractions, a new message blinked on the screen, unknown number. Next time, knock before running into my room. You stared at it for a long time, your thumbs hovered over the keyboard. You are unbelievable, no reply. Just three dots appearing then disappearing. You exhale shakily, a reluctant smile tugging at your lips. Despite yourself, you didn't know what terrified you more, the fact that he teased you or that some kind of you secretly wanted him to do it again. The next morning, sunlight spilled across Mina's room in soft golden streaks. You woke to the faint hum of the city outside and the heavy thud of your own heartbeat. You hadn't slept much. Every time you closed your eyes, you saw him, his gaze, the droplets on his skin, the low whisper that had burrowed somewhere far too deep in your chest. You sat up quickly, trying to shake the memory away. It was just a mistake, a ridiculous, humiliating mistake. Mina peeked in through the half open door, bright and obvious. Good morning, zombie. Coffee? Please, I need it intensely. Downstairs, the kitchen was filled with the scent of toast and espresso. You froze hallway down the staircase. Jungkook was already there, no towel this time, thank God, but still effortlessly disarming. Black shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows, a mug in one hand, phone in the other, his usual calm, unreadable expression. He looked up as you entered. For the briefest moment, something flickered in his eyes, recognition, amusement, control, returning all at once. Morning kitten, she's not a kitten, Opa. She runs like one. You nearly dropped the plate you were holding. Mina didn't notice. She was too busy fussing with the toaster. You sat across from him, pretending to read your notes. The silence was thick. You could feel his gaze on you, lazy, deliberate, like he was testing how long you would last before breaking. Finally, you looked up. Do you always stare at people while they eat? Only when they break into my room. Wait, what? You coughed, eyes wide. He's joking. Am I? Mina frowned. You two are weird. She grabbed her bag and headed toward the door. I'll be back in an hour. Don't kill each other. The moment she was gone, there shifted to lean back in his chair, studying you with quiet amusement. So, did the snake survive? I should have let it bite me instead. You wouldn't have run into my room then. Shame. You stood abruptly, gathering your things. I'm going to finish my assignment upstairs. Don't get lost. You know what happens when you wander. You glared at him, but the corner of his mouth curved into the faintest smile. It was infuriating how easily he made you blush, how calmly he held your nerves in his hand without even trying. As you walked away, you heard him call after you. Next time, kitten, I expect a proper good morning. You didn't turn around, but your lips betrayed you with the smallest traitorous smile. The John mentioned didn't feel cold anymore. Sunlight poured through the tall windows, falling across the marble floors where once every sound had echoed like a warning. Now it was quiet in a peaceful way, filled with the smell of coffee, pages turning, and the soft rhythm of an ordinary afternoon. You sat at the garden table with Mina, finishing the last pages of your thesis, the same garden where the snake had terrified you weeks ago. Now looked harmless, the roses bright and alive. Mina stretched and groaned. I'm done, no more assignments, I'm free. You said that last week. Yeah, but this time I mean it. She stood and waved. I promised Mom I would meet her in town. You staying for lunch? Maybe. Depends on whether your brother is in a terrifying mood. He's never terrifying to you. Don't pretend. Excuse me, he literally scares the oxygen out of people. Uh-oh, sure, see you later, drama queen. You roll your eyes as you disappeared through the gate. The garden fell quiet. You could hear birds, the fountain, and then footsteps behind you, Jungkook. He set a cup of coffee beside your laptop without a word. He had stopped doing the towel and intimidation thing. Now he just had this calm, quiet way of existing near you that somehow felt even more intense. You actually made me coffee. Should I check for poison? You will know in 5 minutes. You laughed. The sound made him glance up, a faint, reluctant smile tugging at his mouth. He sat across from you, the afternoon light soft against his jaw. For a while, neither of you spoke. Then he said quietly, about the day, the snake. If you are about to make fun of me again, I'm not. Pause. I'm glad you ran to me. Your heart skipped. You looked up, surprised by the honesty in his voice. That's unexpected. You used to call me reckless for breathing near your room. You're reckless, but sometimes I like that. He leaned back, gaze soft now. You make this place feel alive. I don't remember when it stopped being this walls until you started walking in. It wasn't a confession, not exactly, but it carried everything you had never dared to ask him to say. You smiled, feeling your chest lighten in a way you hadn't realized it could. That's dangerously close to being sweet, Joan. Don't tell anyone, it will ruin my reputation. The wind carried the scent of roses through the garden. He reached across the table, his hand brushing yours tentative, steady you didn't pull away. So no more mysterious texts, no more wolves and warnings. No promises, but he squeezed your hand gently. I'll try to behave. You behave, that will be the day. Then I'll give you a reason to stay around and see it. The morning hung between his soft laughter, quiet understanding, sunlight painting gold across his hair. For once there was no tension, no shadows, just peace. The cold, intimidating brother and the girl who had once run from a snake had somehow found their way back to each other, right where the story began. And when he stood to leave, he looked back, eyes warm in a way that made your chest ache. Next time you are scared, kitten, just run to me again. You smiled her steady deal. The door closed softly behind him, and for the first time you didn't feel like running away. You were exactly where you belonged.